It is possibly the f1.4 wide-angle lens with the best value for money, quality-price ratio on the market. And this Viltrox 13mm f1.4 has an official price of around 500 euros on the official website. But you can find offers online for less than this price. So we are certainly looking at one of the brightest and most affordable wide-angle lenses on the market. My name is Miguel Azorín, and I welcome you once again to Natural Portrait, the YouTube channel dedicated to nature and natural photography in the broadest sense we could imagine. I'm going to tell you about this amazing lens, and we will see how it performs when photographing the night. I remember when I bought my first wide-angle lens, a Tokina 1116 f2.8, which I have been using until now with an adapter for Sony. That lens has allowed me to take photos like these. Well, this Viltrox 30mm f1.4 allows 4 times more light to reach the camera sensor than the Tokina. Literally, in night photography, it's like going from night to day. And considering that f2.8 is already very bright, additionally, as you can see, it's a very small lens, very portable and very suitable for trips, like the trips we have planned for 2025. Atacama Desert and Salar de Uyuni from April 20 to 30, and the island of La Palma from May 24 to 31. You can find all the information about these trips in the description of this video and in the first comment. And on these trips, this small Viltrox will accompany me, photographing some of the best night skies in the world. Alright, let's take a look at the features of this lens. It is a lens weighing about 400 grams, entirely made of metal. In fact, I even get the impression that the lens hood is also made of some metallic material, probably aluminum. Well, the thing is that it doesn't feel plasticky at all and gives the impression of holding a quality lens. Externally, the lens is very minimalist. We have a 67mm filter thread and a main lens with a very compact size. This was one of the reasons I chose it. And the thing is, besides being an incredibly bright lens, we can use it without any issues with round photographic filters and with any 100mm square filter system. The type of filters I use when I do landscape photography. The lens is autofocus, but we, obviously, have a focus ring that moves. Super smooth. And we also have an aperture ring that goes from f1.4 to f16. As I mentioned, the lens is electronic, it's an autofocus lens. However, we have this manual aperture ring without clicks and very much geared towards the world of videography. We also have an A position where we can control the aperture from the camera body. On the other side of the lens, on the lens mount, we find an area designed to place internal filters. And that's about it. As I said, it's a really minimalist lens with a very good look. We can find it for around 500 euros, by the way, in Fuji mount. Nikon Z mount. And this one I have here, which is the Sony. But how does it really perform in night photography, where we can make the most of that f1.4 aperture? Well, let's check it out then, to conduct this test of the Viltrox 13mm f1.4. We have come to this location, a location that, by the way, you can find in the night photography course of the Natural Portrait Academy. A course where I teach you all the techniques that I usually apply in my night photography sessions, lighting techniques, star photography, Milky Way photography, the Milky Way Arch. So if you want to learn everything I know about night photography, I recommend you take a look. In this case, we are going to conduct a night photography session, mainly to review how this lens performs in these types of situations. With large elements like this, which we have here with some stars, with some clouds in the sky, to see the sharpness. Above all, what it offers us at its maximum aperture f1.4 and see how it behaves with the stars. So let's go there. Right now, I have this large portico framed in front of me, and on the left side of the portico, the constellation Orion, with some bright stars. Additionally, I have placed a flash that points directly at the portico, and I will turn it on during the exposure. To illuminate the portico and be able to visualize the texture of the portico and really see the sharpness that this lens offers us. So I'm going to turn off the flash. And we take the photo. And we turn on the flash. Alright, so here we have the photo. Let's review it. Well, don't pay too much attention to the lighting because it's very basic lighting. just to be able to visualize the textures of this portico. But let's get closer to the portico. And let's see the sharpness this lens offers at its maximum aperture. And, well, considering that we are in a photography situation, night photography, that we are illuminating with a flash, I truly perceive a more than acceptable sharpness at maximum aperture. But now let's review the stars, which is what concerns us the most, those of us who practice night photography, Milky Ways, and landscape astrophotography. Let's review the appearance of these stars. Here we have the Orion Nebula, and well, we can see that the stars are not perfect, they show some coma. Let's check the corners. And we can also see that there is a slight deformation due to coma. Let's review the other corners. Well, in this one here we have more or less the same stars deformed by coma. But I have to say that the image is very enlarged. Let's zoom out a bit and see what it looks like at 100%. This is what it looks like at 100%. Focus on those stars, don't pay attention to the arrows. Focus on those stars, except for some very bright ones, where the coma is more evident. I have to say that the stars are more than acceptable from my point of view. And we are working at f1.4. Let's stop down one stop to f2 and repeat the test. Alright, here we have the second test. I have stopped down the aperture to f2 and increased the ISO sensitivity by one stop to have roughly the same exposure. Let's go, directly to the stars. Well, now I think they look much better. Notice how the shape of the Orion Nebula is visible. Some coma is still noticeable, but it goes practically unnoticed. Well, we have some very bright stars where this distortion is more evident, but in general, the appearance of the stars is very, very correct at aperture f2. And notice the sharpness we now have in the structure of the building. The truth is, it's incredible how this lens performs, simply. Incredible. Well, as we have just seen, this lens at f2 gives us magnificent definition with small pinpoint stars. Tiny, pinpoint stars. Still with some coma in the stars, but a coma that, from my point of view, goes completely unnoticed and is perfectly acceptable. In fact, I consider this lens to be perfectly usable. At f1.4, a true light gatherer for practicing night photography in dark environments where we can capture the maximum amount of detail from, for example, the Milky Way. In fact, this wide-angle lens is the one that will come with me on the astrophotography trips I have in the coming months. Atacama Desert and Salar de Uyuni, the best night skies in the world. And La Palma Island in May, the best night sky in the Northern Hemisphere, where I was last year with a group of people and where I returned this year to capture these pristine skies, but in this case, with a true wide-angle light gatherer. And after this brief review of this lens, I take advantage of being in this location to see if any night shots come out. Interesting. Let's go for it.